My parents were laughing. Not with me, but at me. My mother leaned over to the judge, sitting across from us, and whispered, "Olivia is our little charity case. We're just glad we could bring her along to experience a real luxury meal for once." My father chimed in, saying they had to cut me off years ago to teach me independence. I sat there, sipping my water in a $40 dress, watching my sister admire the 3-carat diamond ring on her finger. What they didn't know, I paid for the dinner, I paid for the ring, and by tomorrow morning, I would own the very roof over their heads. Welcome back to Revenge Engine if you've ever been the family scapegoat, the one who works in silence while the golden child gets the glory. This story is for you. Hit that like button and subscribe if you believe that karma always settles the score. Let's get into it. My name is Olivia. I'm 33. In my family, there's a very specific hierarchy. At the top is Savannah, my 28-year-old sister. To my parents, Richard and Caroline, Savannah is a mogul. In reality, she's a lifestyle vlogger with 50,000 followers and $50,000 in credit card debt. Then there's me. I drive a 2016 Prius with a dent in the bumper. I wear unbranded sweaters from Target. My parents think I'm a paper pusher in a cubicle. They've spent the last decade using me as the punchline to make Savannah look better. But here's the secret I kept behind my quiet smile. I am the founder and CEO of Onyx Capital. I manage a real estate portfolio worth $800 million. I didn't hide my wealth because I was ashamed. I hid it because I knew my family. I knew that to them, a daughter isn't a person. She's an ATM. The tension peaked at the engagement dinner. Savannah was marrying Jamal, a brilliant orthopedic surgeon from one of Atlanta's most prestigious families. His mother, Josephine, is a retired federal judge. My parents were desperate to look like they belonged in that world. And to Richard and Caroline, the easiest way to look rich is to point at someone else and call them poor. The escalation, the $40,000 punchline, 3 to 6 o'clock. The dinner was at a Michelin-starred steakhouse. The air smelled of expensive Cabernet and desperation. "We're just so proud of Savannah," my mother announced, her voice echoing off the mahogany walls. "She's making 6 figures. It's such a relief when one of your children actually makes something of themselves." My father laughed, swirling a glass of 30-year-old scotch. "Unlike Olivia, we worry about her. We had to stop helping her financially. It was tough love, but she needs to learn that you can't live off handouts forever." I felt the heat rise in my neck, but I didn't break. I looked at Jamal. He looked confused. He looked at Savannah, who was busy taking a foodie photo of her Wagyu steak, completely ignoring the fact that her parents were shredding my dignity for sport. Then the bill came. My father reached for his wallet. His chest puffed out, ready to play the big shot. But the waiter leaned in and whispered, "The bill has been settled, sir, along with the private room fee. All $40,000. The table went silent. My father's face turned a muddy shade of purple. "What? Who?" Jamal stood up. He didn't look happy. "I tried to pay before we sat down," he said, his voice cold. "But the manager told me the bill was prepaid on a black card, a card belonging to Olivia." The turning point, the mask slips 6 to 9 o'clock. The walk to the VIP lounge for privacy felt like a funeral procession. The moment the door shut, Savannah exploded. "How dare you!" she shrieked. "You tried to make me look small. You probably slept with some old man to get that card just to ruin my night." My mother was trembling with rage. "Whose card did you steal, Olivia? Tell us the truth before I call the police. You work in a cubicle." I looked at them, really looked at them. My father, the man who used the family trust as a leash. My mother, who only loved me when I was invisible. "I didn't steal anything," I said, my voice as steady as a surgeon's hand. "I paid because the jeweler called me. Savannah, your credit cards bounced when you tried to buy that ring." I paid the difference so you wouldn't be embarrassed. And I paid for dinner because I know the family trust you keep bragging about, Dad. It's empty. My father's eyes went wide. The sweat on his forehead was cold. I know about the harassment lawsuit 5 years ago, Richard, I continued. I know you drained every cent to stay out of prison. And I know I'm the one who worked 3 jobs to pay off the bank so you wouldn't lose the house. You didn't cut me off. You bled me dry. And yet you call me a charity case. They didn't apologize. They didn't feel shame. Instead, they did something truly monstrous. The next morning, I was served with papers. My parents, through a dirty lawyer named Gregory Thorne, had filed for an emergency conservatorship. They told the court I was mentally unstable, that I was hoarding wealth I couldn't manage, and that I was a danger to myself. They wanted control. They wanted my bank accounts. They wanted to use my hard-earned millions to fund Savannah's wedding and their own failing lifestyle. But they forgot one thing. To get a conservatorship, the guardians have to prove they are financially stable. The rehearsal dinner at the country club was the stage. My parents were dressed in clothes they hadn't paid for, drinking wine they couldn't afford. I walked in with a black leather binder. Beside me stood Josephine, the retired judge. She had seen through my parents' lies from minute one. "Richard," Josephine said, her voice cutting through the room like a gavel, "I've reviewed the financial disclosures your conservatorship filing triggered. It's interesting you're claiming Olivia is incompetent, yet these records show you are 3 months behind on your mortgage and owe the IRS 6 figures." The room went dead silent. The socialites, the board members, the elite, they all turned. I opened my binder. "Here are the receipts for Savannah's dress, the venue, and the flowers," I said. "All paid by me. And here is the loan contract my father tried to force Jamal to sign in a parking lot this morning." I looked at my father. He looked small, deflated. "You wanted to manage my estate, Dad? Well, as the CEO of Onyx Capital, the company that actually bought your mortgage from the bank last month, I have some news. Your handouts are officially over. You have 30 days to vacate the house." Savannah lost everything that night. Jamal broke off the engagement on the spot. He couldn't marry into a family of fraudsters. The golden child was left with a mountain of debt and a social media reputation that was now permanently stained. My parents tried to sue, but you can't sue for the truth. They moved into a small apartment in a part of town they used to mock. As for me, I still drive my Prius. I still wear my Target sweaters. But now, when I sit down for dinner, I don't wait for anyone's permission to speak. I am not a charity case. I am the architect of my own life. It's funny how the people who try to keep you in the dark are usually the ones most afraid of the light. Olivia's family thought they could steal her future, but they only ended up destroying their own. What would you have done if your parents tried to take legal control of your life? Tell us in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story of quiet, elegant revenge, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. We'll see you next week for another story from Revenge Engine.